Today, Mitch McConnell made something explicitly clear. A GOP-controlled Senate would never again confirm a Democratic Supreme Court nominee. In other words, if they regain the majority, they plan to pack the court with conservative justices in perpetuity. The minority leader told radio host Hugh Hewitt that it was highly unlikely, if the next presidential campaign is underway, that he would bring a Biden nominee to the floor for a vote.
I think in the middle of a presidential election, if you have a Senate of the opposite party of the president, you have to go back to the 1880s to find the last time a vacancy was filled. So I think it's highly unlikely. In fact, no, I don't think either party, if it were different from the president, would confirm a Supreme Court nominee in the middle of an election. What was different in 2020 was we were of the same party as the president.
Correct. So Mitch McConnell, here's a rough guide, okay? Mitch McConnell will fill an empty seat on the Supreme Court if a Democrat is president and nominates them when pigs fly. When pigs fly. Or when Donald Trump is reinstated, which also will be when pigs fly. I just hope that Biden enjoys his meeting with Vladimir Putin, because spending time with Vladimir is probably more enjoyable than spending time with Mitch McConnell. I swear to God, this man is such an impediment to democracy and progress. He doesn't want to investigate an insurrection at the Capitol that he got on the Senate floor and said the president is responsible. The president and some other powerful allies, they lied to the American people and they caused this hatred and they caused this violence, and I blame them. But I don't want to investigate anything. I don't want to know. I don't want to get to the bottom of why we have domestic terrorists in this country. I just want to move on. I don't love the police. I was pretending to love the police. And so when you have 140 police officers that are tased and beaten, and they have their spinal cords broken, and they have, heart attacks right then and there, or strokes as a result of chemicals sprayed on them, or they're being crushed on camera and screaming for help. I'm not that interested. I'm not that interested. That's another thing he said. He's not going to investigate the insurrection. No, doesn't want to.
Late last week, the Democratic leader and the Democratic whip gave in to the urge to pick at the scab of politically motivated investigations that have become their party's favorite weapon against the previous administration.
Mitch, shut up. Also, he doesn't want to investigate the spying that occurred at the DOJ against Democratic enemies and the enemies of the people, the press, the free and fair press. That's another thing he doesn't want to look into. He says it's a smear. It's a smear of Bill Barr. If we look into the DOJ spying on Eric Swalwell, spying on Adam Schiff, spying on Washington Post reporters, spying on New York Times reporters, spying on CNN. CNN sucks. I mean, he is so anti-democratic, this man, because he makes money being an autocrat. He makes a lot of it. The donors love Mitch McConnell's hands-off attitude when it comes to their wrongdoing, and this endless investigatory route that they take whenever the Democrats are in charge. It's really sad. It's really sick. It's unbelievable how all that exists for Mitch McConnell is donor money and politics. And there is nothing in his wheelhouse that remotely resembles democracy or free speech or access or Medicaid expansion, healthcare, infrastructure investment. Nothing at all should get done. Nothing at all should get done when you have a Democratic president. I mean, including filling an empty Supreme Court seat. He said he wouldn't even have a hearing, never mind in the middle of an election year, 2024. And of course, you remember Amy COVID Barrett was confirmed during the height of the election. You remember that, right? You do. So we voted in November and she was confirmed in October. Yeah. 8 days after Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, 8 days later, we had her name. Mitch McConnell put her name. Donald Trump had nominated her because Mitch McConnell told him to, because that's what the Federalist Society told him to do. But he won't even have a hearing, he says, in 2023, a non-election year. It's too close. Now, he did all this to Merrick Garland, right? He did this to Merrick Garland when Obama nominated Merrick Garland a year out, a year before an election, a year before. And he's just going back to the same playbook, the do nothing for anybody that, votes in the majority. So I'm telling you, the idea that Republicans got from all of this is no matter what the American people vote for, no matter what the American people say they want, whether it's in a red state like Missouri and they say that they want Medicaid expansion, whether it's 7 million more people voting for Biden because they didn't like the Amy COVID Barrett crap that they saw and it motivated them to get up and go out and vote, or they voted because they didn't like Donald Trump, and the racism, and they wanted that to come to a screeching halt. The lesson that the Republicans took from that was we need to fix elections better, and if people still overcome all of the suppression efforts that we put in place, we need to take unto ourselves the ability to ignore the will of the people. That's what Mitch McConnell is saying right there. He's saying that even though we all voted for a Democratic president, 7 million more of us and 74 more electoral votes went to Joe Biden than did Donald Trump. Joe Biden got 306 electoral votes. It doesn't matter to Mitch McConnell. He will do exactly what Missouri is doing to its voters. Ignore them. Ignore them. Refuse to fund it, refuse to bring it up for a vote, refuse to, even have a hearing, refuse to debate, refuse everything. Just use whatever political tools you have to undo the will of the American people. Listen, I got news for you. That is not a democracy. I don't know what it is at this point. It seems like an oligarchy to me, where people are being, let's say, put into leadership positions based on their ability to raise corporate dollars. The only reason why Mitch McConnell is the leader is because Mitch McConnell raises more money than anybody else. I mean, we don't have anything that resembles a democracy now. We just don't. We either have, we came very close to autocracy. We came very close to being Russia, where, there's fake elections in Russia, right? It seems like there's elections in Russia, but of course, Putin just goes right ahead and arrests anybody that would run against him. And if he doesn't arrest them, then he poisons them or tries to have them killed. And then if they survive, he has them arrested and thrown in jail, right? So we came very close. I mean, in the second term of Donald Trump, you can best believe that the lock her up crowd would have bypassed the Department of Justice completely. And Donald Trump would have had his flying monkeys, his terrorists, go and arrest any opponent. And the people who follow him, the people who don't give a rat's ass about American democracy or freedom or First Amendment rights, only second, they would applaud that. They would applaud a country where the president of the United States bypasses grand juries, bypasses subpoenas, bypasses somebody, to confront their accuser in a court of law, and just locks people up. They would be for that. They are domestic terrorists, and we do have a freaking problem in this country. We do.